today's topic is demands and recovery under GST. And good evening to today's speaker, Sri C.A. Vinay Gandhi Garu from Vizag. And welcome to Chief Guest, Sri Sumati Garu, Joint Commissioner of Appeals, GST Appeals, Tirupati. And we have a wonderful topic today is demands and recovery under GST. And welcome to Guntur Branch Chairman, Sri C.A. Vangala Bhargavi Garu. So welcome, dear members. Today we have a topic on demands and recovery under GST. It is a very good topic on trending now under GST. The department is more concentrating on demands and recovery of some of filings, some of amounts from clients. So with this brief introduction, I am handing over the session to Chairman Sri C.A. Vangala Bhargavi Garu. Thank you.
Madam, voice audible.
Your voice audible.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Good evening, dear members. Welcome you all to this second day program on Legal Week. As you all know, today's session is about demands and recovery. We have eminent speaker with us, Vinay Gandhi Garu, and I welcome today's chief guest, Joint Commissioner Sumati ma'am. Ma'am, welcome to today's session. J.C. ma'am, am I audible? Sumati ma'am. Sumati ma'am. Sumati ma'am. Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Absolutely, yes. You are audible, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah,
Thank you,
you
thank
are
you.
audible, absolutely. Go ahead,
Welcome,
Bhargavi.
Welcome,
Yeah,
welcome.
వినిపిస్తోంది భార్గవి గారు. Yeah, I have already unmuted, ma. నా వాయిస్ రావట్లేదా? Thank you, Bhargavi. Am I audible, na? నా వాయిస్
Yes, madam. Now you're audible.
Audible, ma'am, but I think there is slight time gap. It's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Good.
Yeah. I welcome today's speaker, Vinay Gandhi Garu.
Can I log in from another system, yeah?
Sure, ma'am, sure. Please, please.
1 second, just give me 1 moment. Yeah.
Vinay Garu,
Madam.
how are you?
Good.
So thank you so much. You are always available for our Guntur branch. Within no time you will accept. And you guide us how to conduct a program also. Actually, this idea is from you, I must admit.
Thank you so much. And not only that, giving idea is a different thing, but accepting that and doing that, continuing that, because 6-day program with 6 speakers, coordinating 6 topics is very difficult. I know.
Yes, sir. With my team, it is much easy. We'll wait for 2 minutes, sir. GS will join.
Bhargavi, I have joined, yeah?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I have joined, yes.
But I'm getting it.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible. Please on your video also, ma'am. You're not visible.
Yeah, we have switched on, yeah?
Right, ma'am. Right. Right, ma'am. Right, ma'am. So, welcome to today's chief guest, Sumati ma'am.
Thank you.
Sumati ma'am is Joint Commissioner, Commercial Taxes Department, AP Government. She was a BCom gold medalist from Kakatiya University, Anantapur, and she did MBA from ICFA University. She appointed as CTO in 2007, being selected in Group 1 Services examination conducted by APPSC. She secured 5th rank among women in the state and got promoted as Deputy Commissioner in 2015 and Joint Commissioner in 2020. She's presently working as Joint Commissioner Appeals Tirupati. With this brief, I welcome Sumati ma'am to this August gathering. Ma'am, I request you to give a few words and your recommendations, your suggestions to our members regarding this legal week. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bhargavi, for your loving words, and thanks for the warm welcome you have given. I'm also very happy to participate with our stakeholders, because you people being professionals, chartered accountants, we are all from a part of the system now. That's why I'm happy to share my views, whatever it may be. Thank you very much. Good evening, all of you. Today is a very, very good topic, yeah, because now we are going to know about demands and recovery. Actually, personally, what I feel is, as a tax officer, my duty is either to raise demands and to to raise demand, not as a appellate authority, I'm talking as a tax officer. Raising of demands and recovery, both are the things which we can contribute to the exchequer, because self-assessment tax dealer will be paying, and there will be no much involvement from the department. It's the compliance on the part of the dealer. Okay, when we want to enforce the compliance on behalf of the department, there comes the role of demands and again recovery, because that is the net credit what will be given to our account. Nah, that's why. And as of now, I feel it's a very relevant topic also, because since 2017-18 assessments, after 3 years, it is going to be completed by limitation period very soon. And department was taking, it was the initial days of inception of GST. That's why there was no much stringent view and action on behalf of the department also. Now the dealers may also they may expect many notices or verifications, scrutinies, all the things. Now that's why it's a right time you have launched your legal advising program to all of us, so that we can share our views with each other. Okay. First of all, I want to tell very few points about demands here. Though GST focuses on the platform of believing the dealer and self-assessment and voluntary payment, there are many disputes regarding rate of taxes, interpretational differences, and many other factors that are resulting in either delayed payment of tax or non-payment of tax. At that point of time, department will conduct scrutinies. Yeah, this is the general modus operandi we do. We verify the things, scrutinize the returns filed, we audit the record, whatever is available. We will review the returns, whatever is filed with the department. We can even call for the records also. This is the general methods we adopt for conducting of scrutinies. Based on the information available on the veracity of the case, we take up assessment 61, 63, 65, 67, everything. And demands are raised appropriately as per 73 or 74, depending on the case. I suggest one thing here. I request all usually in general in trade, some issues we are observing in general. Yeah, there is no updation of phone numbers, mail IDs, place of businesses. These are not updated in the registration records. Some guy will be, some authorized representative, he will come, he will give his phone number, he will go off. Today, nowadays, we can see all are changing the phone numbers as the way they want. That's why OTPs and everything are not coming. Mails are not accessible. GST logins are not accessible. For that reason, whatever communication department is sending within the time, that is not reaching the dealer. That's why please ensure that as a professionals, I request you all, you suggest your dealers to update all the details in the registration database so that they can receive all the communication within time. And also one more thing, yeah, whenever any notice or anything is coming, ensure that proper and timely reply is filed, whether you're accepting or not, you're asking for adjournment, whatever it may be, some timely reply must go. You need not, don't wait. You just suggest your clients to respond, whatever it is. I suggest the people to do that. Next, one more thing. Next thing, admitted tax. In GST, we have a facility. If you pay admitted tax within the time, they can get benefit of penalties. They can avoid all the further litigations also now. That's why it is also a way of avoiding future repercussions if they are paying any admitted tax. There will be few issues which the dealer might not be accepting department. There will be dispute between department and dealer. At the time, we cannot do anything now. Next, coming to tax collected but not paid to government. Everything is self-assessed tax. Everything is being recovered under Section 79. We are not even, department is not even waiting for the 3 months period also. As it is there in a general recovery principles, that is also being done. As of now, we all know that in GST, dealers are filing a lot of returns. A huge database, huge collection of database is being deposited with the GSTN. Not only with GSTN, the lot of database from other department is also getting integrated. And system analytics are developed in such a way that the system itself is throwing the alert to us. Depending on the veracity of the issues, all are attending. That's why I suggest everyone to file returns based on the database only. Because everything is integrated. No one can hide anything. We all know that there is e-invoicing, e-Waybill, some big dealer will be there. He will be selling to dealer. All parties involved in the complete transactions are brought to light. When the dealer or anyone is trying to hide anything, then things are coming to light and he will be even losing the benefit of ITC, seamless ITC, which is the basic principle of GST. That's why I request all of you to have a timely response and be compliant, pay taxes within time. It's a general thing what we tell everywhere. Adoption of correct rate of tax also, it is very much necessary. After rising of demand, then comes my topic, my job. I'm a first appellate authority of Tirupati bench. I want to put few observations because it's a very good platform. We are also facing few issues which I keep on telling everyone. If I am sharing with you people, most of my problems are addressed, I feel, yeah. As all of us know that Section 107 deals with appeal before first appellate authority, and 107(1) 3 months of regular time limit. Beyond that, 1 month condonation of delay is also there. 107(7) tells that there is a deemed stay on remaining 90% of tax and other demands which are not paid when subject to payment of disputed tax of 10%. Yeah. One major problem we are facing in this is dealers are filing online application. They are getting a provisional acknowledgement. After that, they are not bothered to send original copies, certified copy of the order. No one is sending. Even appeal papers are also not received. Even I have a bunch of 135 appeals which were filed, but no appeal papers, no certified copy of the order is not received. How can I admit that? I want to clarify one more thing in this, yeah. Certified copy, there are many doubts because a few people will be coming and asking me, what is certified copy, madam? Just enlighten us. It is not defined in GST Act. Though it is not defined in GST Act, in many case laws, there is a clear demarcation. What is certified copy? Yesterday, even I will share the judgment also to you. It's a very exhaustive judgment given by a court of law. They are telling that what is certified copy? Original copy of the order received from the assessing authority. A copy or duly certified by the concerned department, maybe by assessing authority or certified by jurisdictional authority, whoever they may be. A copy authenticated by advocates, chartered accountants, authorized representative, or appellant. These three categories are considered as certified copy. these copies must be filed with APL 01 grounds of appeal. Actually, 4 sets are mentioned in the order. Yeah, usually people will file 2 sets or 3 sets also. Some people will be filing in appellate authority. And the prominence of this certified copy, I want to mention that one also. Yeah, it is clearly specified in rules that certified copy must be filed within 7 days of day of filing of appeal. Okay, if it is filed within 7 days, it will be treated as the date of appeal will be treated as the date of filing. If it is filed beyond 7 days, it will be date on which the certified copy is filed. That means from the time lag, yeah, date of filing of online application to the date of filing of certified copy, this time lag, this is treated as a no appeal. Okay, and many people will be of the opinion that once we are accepting, then only APL 02 will be generated in your login. Unless until you get a APL 02, you cannot take the shield of 1077 deemed stay on the remaining demand. It's a great benefit extended by GST to the dealers. Earlier, what used to happen in VAT and CST, we used to run behind courts for stay, conditional stay. Here, they need not go for such a long procedure. Just filing an appeal before first appellate authority, they can avail the benefit of stay. And I feel this must be brought to the notice of dealers so that they can also be aware of that. And next thing, we are getting procedural appeals. Actually, there will be 2 types of appeals, procedural appeals and tax appeals. In procedural appeals, we are getting registration cancellation appeals. Most of the registration cancellations appeals, they just relate to non-submission of replies in time and non-appearance in personal hearing. After that, the registration will be cancelled. It will come to their notice. They will ask for revocation. They will file appeal beyond limitation period, which I cannot accept. That is the main problem what we are facing. Please suggest to your dealers, whoever approaches you, to give timely response to all the notices. Otherwise, neither appeal can be admitted, nor I can do any justice to the dealer when they are in damage. This is what I feel. Yeah, that's why even sometimes people, assessing authorities are asking me, Madam, this appeal is admitted or not. I'm clearly telling they have not filed certified copy. I have not admitted the appeal. I have not generated APL 02. It's a mandatory document. Now, once you have not filed certified copy, what will happen? A date of appeal will be going up from the limitation period. If it is going beyond 4 months, I cannot accept the appeal. Now, this is the problem what we are facing. I request the speaker to just throw some light on this issue also, because this is the problem what we are facing. My job will also be eased. Next, coming to recovery proceedings, say normal thing. One point I want to bring to your notice, Vinay Gandhi garu. Usually there are huge demands what we are seeing. In recovery also, it is very easy. It is becoming easy for us to approach because we can get the database from PAN and bank accounts and 2A statements, GST or 2A when we are going through, we could know the purchasers, sellers, to third-party attachment. For third-party attachment, things are very much easy. But no more applications are coming for payments by installment. Yeah, you can create awareness about payments of installments, because many people will be asking, Madam, we want to, because financial crisis, financial crunch is a general thing what we are observing in the commercial spaces. Now, that's why we try to throw some specific light on installments, and also tell them, yeah, about the transfer of property, first charge. These are the things. Provisional attachments also, Vinay. Nowadays, we are seeing there are many bill trading cases and everything. At that time, some good dealers are also getting punished, yeah, because they will be taking invoices. Somehow they will be involved in that. Now, at that time, provisional attachments will also be coming to them. It will be detrimental to the interest of the dealer. Now, that's why you can throw some light on that issues also. That might be helpful. This is what I can share. I wanted to share with you, and thank you for making me a part of this beautiful program. And I will also follow all your legal updates. because I need to answer all your questions now, sitting here. Thank you very much, Bhargavi Garu. Thank you very much, SIRC, Guntur, Vinay Gandhi Garu. Huh? Good luck, all of you. Thank you very much.
Madam.
Yes.
Thank you so much for such a nice suggestions and guidance.
Yeah.
So after your words, all our professionals will be taking care about filing of appeals and guiding the dealers to file the returns within time and reply to the department whenever it is asked for.
Yes.
And no.
I do expect the same from you all, yeah, Bhargavi.
Definitely, ma'am, definitely. And I think I can plan a seminar with you, ma'am. Just half an hour is sufficient. So I think some 1.5 hour to 2 hours session will be helpful to the dealers as well as I'll do one thing, ma'am. I'll do this along with trade. That would be much beneficial.
Looking forward. Surely I am happy to share the views because let the litigation be reduced here because I could see the legal burden on even courts and mine is a small appellate authority. We are having lot number of things, appeals means people are waiting for justice. Let us avoid some litigation. That's a better thing, a better world to live in.
Yeah. See, I know that you are dealer friendly, JC. So you are known for your good smile and very friendly behavior with dealers and professionals. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your words.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request our SICASA chairman Bharadwaj sir to give a profile of our today's speaker Vinay Gandhi sir.
Madam, namaste. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you, madam. Good evening, everyone. It's my honorable privilege to read out today's speaker profile, Vinay Gandhi Billapati sir. Vinay Gandhi Billapati sir qualified as Chartered Accountant in the year 2010 at the early age of 22. Sir qualified CISA, an international course by ISACA, USA, and sir also qualified DISA in final stage of CPA, Australia. Sir has completed certification courses from ICAI in various streams like GST, IFRS, concurrent audit on banks, and Indian accounting standards. Sir is presently working as partner of Messrs. Billapati and Co. at Ankapalle, Visakhapatnam, Elementary, along with Sir's father, C.A. Chidambaram Billapati sir. Sir served as trainee at Hiragange and Associates, Hyderabad, and served as assistant manager, Deloitte Haskin & Sells, Hyderabad. Coming to experience, Sir worked as faculty on GST. Sir was trained as faculty on GST by Indirect Tax Committee of the ICAI. Sir contributed various articles on service tax and GST published by prestigious Taxman, Tax Publishers, Tax Guru, and Tax Management India. Sir presented various papers at various forums, including Visakhapatnam branch of SIRC of ICAI, Guntur branch, Kakinada branch, Rajahmundry branch, and Ongole branch. Sir is resource person for around 80 plus seminars on GST at various places in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. We are very happy to hear from you, Vinay Gandhi sir. I am handing over the proceedings to speaker. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Bharadwaj Garu, for your introduction. And I have to thank Bhargav Garu for giving me this opportunity to speak on demands and recovery. Even before going into the topic of demand and recovery, I wanted even to thank Sumati madam also because I actually have to meet you some 12 days back. 2nd June, there was an appeal that was scheduled. But since I am not, actually there is some professional assignment. So I asked for, I asked for adjournment. So for sure, I will meet you. I'll meet you.
Come, let's meet, Vinay.
I'll meet you.
Sure.
And madam, one thing, 2 things what I wanted to means as an answer for your speech. 1, section 80, that installments. In one case, I already got it. We are already advocating that to the persons who are really in the financial trouble and who is in need. And that is a very good provision as far as I am concerned, because almost like everyone likes EMI. It's almost like an EMI, or almost up to 24 months of installments. Yes, that is a good option for the people who actually are in financial crisis. And second thing, please share the judgment of that what you call certified copy, because certified copies, even we are getting it difficult, because as you said, if it is certification by the SSC or a chartered accountant is also fine.
Yeah, it's written in that judgment also. I will share that judgment to. I'll do one thing. I will share it with Barbary.
Yes.
I don't have your number, yeah, because it's there with me. You can circulate that, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Sure,
because certified copies is again means what I feel is the order is already uploaded by the department in the portal. So only because of that certified copy, not issuing APL 2.
That is also written in that. That's also written in that, because
yes,
in the
I
judgment it was
understand.
also mentioned. Yeah, what was told, in the judgment, usually orders are got either by portal or by mail. When the dealer is accepting the order given by the assessing authority, why should we file one more copy that was written? Yeah, but it is told in rules. That's why we are asking for a certified copy.
Okay, because even I filed
and it is and one more thing, Vinay, I feel that it is, and this is my personal view, I may be corrected. What I feel, because dealer will be giving, we have seen few challans also. Chalan, the dealer will not be paying 10% completely. They'll be paying 50% only. Admitted tax will be different. Disputed tax will be different. System, whatever you are giving, it will take now. It will ask only for mandate field. That's why it will be some sort of affirmation. Even if you are going to High Court or Tribunal also, you need to file original copy of the order. And it is one more proof that you have not filed any appeal before other judiciary. Because clearly, I cannot entertain any case pending before High Court or Appellate Authority or a tribunal or anywhere. Na? That's why I think to maintain this discipline, certified copy is a very must necessary. Yeah. Even I am accepting the digitally signed copy. It is also authenticated, but we are asking for certification. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. And Bhargav, please invite me to that seminar where Madam is going to speak.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Please invite me to that seminar where Madam is going
Definitely.
Because very few officers, I can say, who can speak so much confidence.
The plan got extended. We will have a debate also, sir.
Okay.
Already we are doing it in my office. Yeah. Let me not do that in Zoom at least. Let us have it, not a debate.
No. Subject debate.
Let's have a discussion. Yeah, surely. I'll look forward to join.
Just for fun. Thank you, Vinay sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am continuing with my presentation. I am sharing my screen. Now, coming into demands and recovery, the simple, because since this is a legal week where all the sections which are dealt with after our written filing, and these demands and recovery is a continuous process along with the what you call return filing and scrutiny of returns. This goes on and on. So this demands and recovery is chapter 15 and also the rules 142 to 161. I tried to cover all the rules and all the sections at once because I'm not because it's already 5:30. So I'll try to complete it at least on all the provisions. And then I also added some of the case laws which I felt is important for because the way we have to answer or what points we have to include in our replies. So coming to the first thing, Dapayitva karam dharmam rastram nityam yadhavidhi. Aseshan kalpayed raja yogakshema natadritaha. This is actually nothing new if someone can identify where we found or where we listened to this, because this is what our finance minister has taken, or in her budget speech has said, even before starting, as soon as she started with the finance bill. The king must make arrangements for yogakshema of the populace by way of abandoning any laxity and by governing the state in the line with dharma, along with collecting taxes which are in consonance with the dharma. So this is how, or this is what is actually being contemplated also, because everyone or the law has to follow dharma while collecting the taxes and while imposing the taxes also. Now coming to, because the main sections in demand and recovery are section 73 and 74. Those are the two main sections which I am going to deal in detail more. And as madam said, as Sumati madam said, there are the recovery procedure also, like provisional attachment and whatever, what are the modes of recovery that are available with the department. I will deal with that. At least if I could not speak on that, I can at least share my presentation on that. I have given the rule and section at once. So section 73 talks about any tax has not been paid, short paid, erroneously refunded, or ITC has been wrongly availed or utilized for any reason other than fraud, misrepresentation, or willful misstatement or suppression. So this definition means wherever there is any tax which has not been paid or short paid, or refund has been erroneously given to us, or ITC has been wrongly availed or utilized. For any of these four reasons, section 73 can be brought in. But the reason section 73, I don't know why, but many of the officers like section 74 rather than 73. Because 73 talks about other than the reason of fraud, willful misstatement, or suppression of facts. So if there are any, what is fraud, what is willful misstatement, and what is suppression, we will talk about it in section 74, because that is where the reason for section 74 is that. So here, these four cases, and other than these reasons, 73 can be done. So what is the time limit for issuing a notice or invoice or an order? Because time limit for issuing a notice under 73, what they have done is they have set at least 3 months prior to the time limit specified for issuance of order. So this, they have linked it to the order date. So order is generally they have to issue, if it is section 73, it is within 3 years from the due date for furnishing of annual return. So the tax for which, because generally all orders, all notices and all are with respect to the financial year or a tax period. So for that period, which financial year does it fall in? And within 3 years of that, I have to issue an order. So at least 3 months before that, you have to receive the notice. So as already pointed out in the introduction also, that this time limit to issue notices under 73 is fast approaching. And one more thing what I wanted to insist is, when we start requesting for extension of time limit for furnishing annual return, what happens is this time limit to issue orders prolongs, and the same thing, because correspondingly even the notice. So when I calculated, I'm not so accurate, but when I calculated this 17-18 financial year, the due date is 7th of February for Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, because that there is some technical glitch as on 31st March, 31st January, and they have extended it to 7th and 8th for some 6th and 7th for some states. So for AP and Telangana, the due date for issuance of notice should be 6th of November 2022. So it is not so far, another almost 5 months, less than 5 months. So 73 notices for 17-18 is this. That's the reason why the department has increased, or they have increased their speed of doing audits and assessments. So for 18-19, you have time till 30th of September. 19-20, it is 31st of December 23, and 20-21, it is 30th of November 24. So these are the minimum time limits in which notice has to be issued under section 73. So orders are almost 3 months after that. So it is easy to calculate for the order. It is 6th of February 2024 for 1723, sorry, 3 years from the due date of GSTR 9. So these time limits have to be kept in mind, because after November 2022, only in the case of fraud, misrepresentation, or a suppression, only the notices can be issued. Otherwise, if they want to go under, if they could not prove that these 3 reasons are there, section 74 will not sustain. So once I receive a section 73 notice, I am very sure that 90% of the listeners already received notices. Already they have received notices under 73 or 74 at least, because I remember getting a notice, or not notice, actually order, in October 2017 itself. So October 2017 itself, the department is ready with orders. So I'm very sure that 73 or 74 orders or notices have already issued, but for many of the clients. So what are the options I have once I get a 73 order and 73 notice? Because as pointed out by Joint Commissioner Madam also, that please reply to whatever mails or whatever letters you are getting from the department. Though you have, for example, a simple example of DRC 3A. If you know GSTR 3A, instead of, means as soon as you don't file your GSTR 3B, you'll get a GSTR 3A reminding you that you did not file your GSTR 3B. So please file it. Otherwise, the judgment, best judgment assessment will be done. So even in that notice, actually, specifically they will mention that the notice is automatically dropped if the return is filed within 15 days. But even then, it is better, in my view. In my view, it is always better, though you file your GSTR 3B late and you received a GSTR 3A, please reply to it that I have filed GSTR 3B wide ARN so-and-so on so-and-so date. That's enough. No need to again send it to post or anything, but at least you intimate the department, or you intimate the message that you have received it, means you have done the job, you have already filed the return. If you don't file it and you get an order or notice here, then you will have at least 73, you will have these 3 options. One, you know that we have an option of DRC 01A even before DRC 01. And now they have made it optional in the case of DRC 01A, because DRC 01A, they have said they've amended the rule to replace the word shall by may. So now DRC 01A is not mandatory, because there are many cases where DRC 01A is not issued, but directly DRC 01 is issued. So in that cases, DRC 01A is now almost optional, and no one for sure will issue a DRC 01A now. So even if you have any notice and you know that the notice is going to come, even before DRC 01 is issued, please pay interest and tax and interest before show cause notice, so that there will be no show cause notice at all. But you missed it. If you missed it also, the Act is giving you one more option. You pay tax plus interest within 30 days of the show cause notice. There will be no penalty. No penalty, and all the proceedings will be dropped. So even if you miss that, and I wanted to what you call file a reply to it, and I wanted to fight against it, and an order is passed in your favor, is fine, no problem. But it's not filed in your favor, then you can even reduce the penalty by paying the tax or plus interest plus 10% of the tax or 10,000, whichever is higher as penalty, within 30 days. So even then also, even you can close the proceedings under section 70. So any of the 3 options you can take it, because once the order is issued, one can understand whether we can fight further or not. So if you are going to fight further, yes, it is open. Otherwise, if you have wanted to close the matter there itself, take a wise decision and pay the tax plus interest and penalty of 10% of tax of 10,000, whichever is higher. So what is the procedure? That's what we already talked about this, that part A of DRC 01A has to be issued first. Then acceptance of submissions in part B of form DRC 01A. Then if I don't, means even after submission of my submissions, if they want to issue me a notice, they will issue me, okay, if I am accept pay in DRC 03 and intimate them, and before issuance of notice, then they will be issuing an acknowledgement accepting the payment in DRC 04. So if this not has happened, means I did not accept, but I wanted to challenge, then these are some of the forms which talks about, like if I pay within 30 days of service of notice, order in form GST DRC 05. And if I want to reply, it is DRC 06 and summary of order DRC 07 and rectification of order DRC 08. Many may ask me whether rectification is possible. Yes, in one case, in one of my cases, yes, rectification has been done by the officer, because that is the rectification is done because there is a event which has happened, which is intimated to them the day before the issuance of notice, but while issuing the notice, they did not consider that while issuing the order. So they have rectified the order by DRC 08. So even that is possible. So after this, because again, why this procedure is so important? If this procedure is not followed, even then, can the demand be sustained? There is a case of VVS Traders versus State Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner State Taxes, where they talked about 74(1) or 73(1), anything is an independent notice to be issued in DRC 01, whereas 74(5) was to be issued in DRC 01A. Here, DRC 01A is issued, that is the first step, but DRC 01 is not issued. And thereafter, straight away, respondent revenue proceeded to pass the impugned assessment order. It was quashed, and it is not sustainable because DRC 01A is actually summary of the order, or before even service of notice, it is issued. Notice, issuance of notice in DRC 01 is mandatory. That should be done. Otherwise, it is the proceedings or assessment order, but that is in DRC 07 is not accessible or is not sustainable. So DRC is now what I am talking, or many cases where the high courts have quashed the orders is by principles of natural justice. They have said DRC 01A is not issued even before DRC 01. Even then they quashed some of the orders, asking the officers to follow the procedure which is specifically mentioned in the Act. In this case, this is still more advanced that DRC 01A is issued, but DRC 01 itself is not issued. That is again, that means notice itself is not issued. Summary of notice is only given. So notice itself is not issued, but notice should be there to pass an assessment order. So here in this case, they have quashed that order as saying that this straight means DRC 01 procedure, what is there in the Act has to be followed. And what are the other provisions of 73? Yes, if there is any subsequent SCN, that's what we generally call, because if there is an issue which is for which a show cause notice is given for a period, and the same issue is continuing for the subsequent period, we generally call it a subsequent period SCN, that they can give it in just DRC 02. They need not give again DRC 01A, 1 and all. In DRC 02, simply mentioning that the same issue, what is there in the previous period, and now we are demanding for the next period also. And mandatory penalty. There is some mandatory penalty which talks about where any amount of self-assessed tax or any amount collected as tax has not been paid within a period of 30 days from the due date of payment. Yes, penalty is mandatory, because this is, I have self-assessed my tax and I accepted it, and even I collected some amount as tax, that should be paid to the department. Otherwise, yes, for sure, though if I pay it even after time limits and all, also penalty can be limited. So am I going fast or is that fine? Because I'm now going into section 74 also. Section 74, if I talk about, this is where the topic of fraud, misrepresentation, misstatement, willful misstatement or suppression to evade tax. These three should be the reason for the same four things: tax not being paid, short paid, erroneously refunded. So if that is the reason of fraud, misstatement, or suppression, what is fraud, what is willful misstatement, and what is suppression? That is what we have to discuss now. So what is fraud? There is no definition of fraud in GST. So we are going with a dictionary meaning where it says wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. So that is what is called as fraud. And even Indian Penal Code defines fraudulently. A person is said to do a thing fraudulently if he does that thing with the intent to defraud, but not otherwise. Third, Section 17 of Indian Contract Act, it makes a suggestion. Fraud means making a suggestion as a fact which the person making does not believe to be true. Even that is also deception or defrauding. Fraud also means active concealment of fact with a view to deceive the exchequer. Intention to evade duty is built into the act of fraud. So whatever definition you take, whether it is dictionary meaning, IPC, or Indian Contract Act, or whatever it is, fraud basic element is to deceit. So if you are going to do any activity, or you are not doing any activity for deceit, or you are going to defraud, or you are going to do some bad to the exchequer, that is considered as fraud. And what is willful misstatement then? Willful, we all easily understand that with an intent to evade. So every misstatement should be willful, and it is willful means deliberate or intentional. So I have to do it deliberately or intentionally. Only then it is misstatement. And dictionary meaning having or showing a stubborn and determined intention to do as one wants, regardless of the consequences. So this is what is willful misstatement. And a false statement will be termed as willful if it is intentional or deliberate. So suppression, there is a specific definition in the section itself as an explanation. Suppression shall mean non-declaration of facts or information which a taxable person is required to declare in the return, statement, report, or any other document furnished under this act or rules made thereunder, or failure to furnish any information on being asked for in writing by the proper officer. This is very, very vast definition of suppression. So please ensure that whatever is being given to the department or whatever is declaring in the return is correct. Otherwise, suppression with intent to evade tax, again, this point which I feel many of the officers use to open Section 74. And Section 74, if they open, their limitation increases by another 2 more years. So this fraud, willful misstatement, and are somewhat difficult to prove, but suppression, taking the definition, it is very difficult if the suppression can be proved easily. But again, with an intent to evade tax, that intention to evade tax should be proved in all the 3 cases. And the time limit, as I already said, that is for 5 years to issue the order. So here they have given 6 months. In 73, it is 3 years and 3 months. Here it is 5 years and 6 months. So for 1718, it will be 6th of August 24. But for 73, it is 6th of November 23. So again, the time limit, that's why if it is 73, now after November, for any notice for 1718 will come as Section 74 notice only. And 1819, we have the 30th of June 25. 1920, it is 30th of September 25. And 2021 is 31st of August 27. I tried to get it correct, but if there is any days calculation, because it says 3 months and not days. So fine, I think these dates will work. And talking about the same, even under Section 74 also, the Act gave us options. But here penalty is mandatory in all the cases, because in 73, if it is before SCN and all, the penalty is not there. But here you pay tax, interest and penalty before SCN. Penalty at the rate of 15% of tax before show cause notice, no show cause notice at all. If you pay tax, interest and penalty at 25% of tax within 30 days of show cause notice, then also no penalty, because that means no penalty, I mean the proceedings will be closed. And even if it is there, and after order is issued, applied to show cause notice and order issued, pay tax, interest and penalty at 50% of tax within 30 days of order, the issue or the section 74 order will stand closed. So even here also you have 3 options, but in all the 3 options, penalty is mandatory. The same procedure, and I'm not going to repeat it again, the same procedure of 1A, 1 if you want to pay, make payment DRC 03, acknowledgement DRC 04, payment on or before 30 days, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So everything, the same procedure of 73 is followed here. Only that 3 elements of fraud, willful misstatement, and suppression will hold in 74. So even after sections, after 75, we'll talk some of the case laws with respect to 73 and 74, because 75 is almost even extension of provisions of section 73. And that's what they say, that generally this is there even in income tax or any other law, that service of notice or issuance is stayed by an order of court or appellate tribunal. Period of stay is excluded in the time limit to issue notice or pass order, because here even I can stay the service of notice also. That means if I know that then I'm going to get a notice, I can stay that service of notice also. And appellate authority or appellate tribunal or court concludes that section 74 is not sustainable, you can again, means it doesn't mean that the issues are closed. If the time limit permits, they can go through complete through section 73 on the same issue for the same matter for the same tax period. And opportunity of being heard is mandatory in all the cases. Even if it is 73 or 74 or anything, my opportunity of being heard has to be given. And power of adjournment, yes, maximum 3 adjournments can be asked for. Even that is there. Even there's nothing new to GST. Where appellate authority or court modifies the tax determined, interest and penalty also stand modified, because generally penalty is also as a percentage of tax, and interest is obviously whenever the principal reduces or increases, interest also reduces or increases. And interest on tax, short paid or not paid, shall be payable whether or not specified in the order determining the tax liability, because this is what they have made it to ensure that no one can waive the interest. And that's the reason why they have said, even if interest is not specifically mentioned in the order, interest is mandatory. They are mentioning it almost in all the cases, but even though they don't mention, they have a cover in section 75 that interest is mandatory. And adjudication proceedings, if they're deemed to be concluded, if the order is not issued within that specified time period, that is 3 years from the due date of annual return and in case of section 73, and 5 years in the due date of annual return in case of section 74. So where any penalty is imposed under 73 or 74, no penalty for the same act or omission shall be imposed on the same person under any other provisions of this act. So once section 73 or 74 penalty is imposed, no other penalty can be imposed. And I'm seeing in many orders, though the notice is imposing penalties under 122 and general penalties 125 and all, but once section 73 and 74 penalty is imposed, they are in the order itself. Even though I don't file a reply in the show cause notice, also in the order itself they are dropping the penalties and they are sustaining the penalties only under 73 or 74. So, and also there is a minimum contents of the order. Relevant facts and basis of the definition should be given for sure in the order. So because of what is the basis of the decision should be given, and amount of tax, interest and penalty which are there, which are demanded in the notice, cannot, means excess of that cannot be demanded in the order, because whatever is there in the notice can be sustained or dropped, cannot be increased. And no demand shall be confirmed on the grounds other than grounds specified in the notice. No new grounds can be brought in to sustain the order. So even these 3 also is specifically mentioned in the act itself. So whenever there is an order, so for sure you have to ensure that these 3 are being there. Relevant facts are there, basis of the definition of there, basis of the decision is there, and amount mentioned in the notice cannot, means amount demanded in the order or confirmed in the order cannot exceed the amount demanded in the notice, and no new ground can be added for issuance of order or confirming the demand. And self-assessed tax, for sure, notwithstanding anything contained in 73 or 74, because once I say it is self-assessed, it has to be paid along with interest if I pay delay. And self-assessment tax will include, even there is a specific explanation which is added, which talks about section self-assessed tax shall include tax payable in respect of details of outward supplies furnished under 37, but not included in the return under 13(9). That means GSTR, in simple words, it is GSTR 1 versus 3B. If there is any demand which is there, difference which is there in 1 versus 3B, that is considered as self-assessed tax, and if that is not paid, you have to pay it along with interest. There may be reasons why 1 and 3B may not match, but that should be ensured. So now there are some questions, there are some case laws which talks about whether demand of interest is automatic, because many officers were like section 50 is automatic, or though it is not demanded in the order, the demand is automatic and all. So whether demand of interest is automatic, Jharkhand High Court specifically said that demand is not automatic. Though the liability of interest is automatic, but same is required to be adjudicated in the event when it disputes the computation or very leviability of interest, until that adjudication is completed and that demand is not said that it is confirmed, and recovery proceeding under section 79 cannot be simply made or cannot be simply started for interest. Even for interest, if the SSC wants to contest, yes, they can go through the process of 73 or 74. And once that demand is confirmed, then the recovery proceeding, that's what 3 months is there for recovery also, actually, with it, because we have a statutory time limit of 3 months for applying or filing an appeal. So that should be waited for demand to be recovered. And second question of this is actually seen in many of the cases, like simple silly reasons. For simple silly reasons that electronic credit ledger.
No. ఆయనే చెప్పారు రేపు మార్నింగ్ 9:30 వెళ్దామని చెప్పి ఫైనల్ చేసేసుకున్నాను. సో రేపు మార్నింగ్ 9:30 చెప్పేస్తాను, మెసేజ్ పెట్టేస్తాను అని చెప్పి.
మేడం అన్మ్యూట్ అయిపోయింది
సార్. నేను ఫోన్ చేస్తాను సార్, మీరు కంటిన్యూ అవ్వండి, నేను ఫోన్ చేసి చెప్తాను మేడం కి.
అండ్ ఆటోమేటిక్
ఏమైపోయారు రావట్లేదు.
automatic debit in electronic credit ledger. Yeah, in because this is almost has been a weapon in the hands of, once the rules 86A has come, it has become a weapon in the hands of the tax officer. They're simply debiting the electronic credit ledger, or they're simply blocking the electronic credit ledger, and they are not allowing the SSA to use whatever is the amount that is there in electronic credit ledger. So that there is a High Court judgment of Gujarat High Court judgment, which talks with where Samay Alloys India Private Limited versus State of Gujarat. There they have said the rule outreaches the detailed procedure provided in the legislature, but because there is a procedure even for input tax credit wrongly availed or utilized. You go with that procedure first. You go and issue a notice or follow the procedure which is there in 73 and 74. And then if that is confirmed in that notice or order that yes, credit is wrong or credit is wrongly availed or utilized, then you invoke this 86A. That's what they said. 86A is invoked at a stage which is anterior to the finalization of assessment or raising of demand. It should be governed strictly by specific statutory language which conditions the exercise of power. So please, if any of the cases where department is simply issuing a DRC 01 and blocking the electronic credit ledger, you can mention this with Gujarat High Court, because this Samay Alloys is relied upon and even they followed in many of the cases. So even this case can be specified in your reply, and automatic debit in electronic credit ledger cannot be made simply. There should be some other procedure of 73 and 74 to be followed, and then then they can means block the electronic credit ledger. And contents to reply to SCN, this I added actually because generally what I feel or what I learned from my experiences in other firms, and also my experience after replying many notices and appearing before appellate authorities, and after reading various legal jurisprudence, at least at the stage of show cause notice itself, please reply to the show cause notice. Or because many people were like, I feel somewhere, or see in some cases that many people will be hesitant to object a small things, like I have not received the order, or that order is not uploaded in the portal, or order is not given, or I have received it late, or the order, see for example section 74, they should actually, what the notices are looking like is they are not even crossing what is not applicable. It says even the direct whatever is there in the forms, that is printed and written in hand, and even they're not striking off whichever is not applicable also. Because why I am talking it is, I saw a case where they talked about that the notice for which the notice which is issued is a printout of the form, and even the whatever it is to be struck off is not struck off. So that notice is actually not a notice, illegal notice at all. And High Court said you go and give a fresh notice, because that is how High Court is. Because now I was when I was told that principles of natural justice have to be followed, and principles of natural justice have to be objected, means if there are any against the principles of natural justice, if there is anything that should be objected, because I could not succeed in any of the principles of natural justice issues. But recent High Court judgments in GST are very stringent, and they wanted to follow whatever is there in the law. And when they are not giving opportunity of being heard, recently Andhra Pradesh High Court also has given that if you don't give an opportunity of being heard, then the order is not sustainable. And again, reasonable period to reply. You have to give a reasonable period to reply to the show cause notice. Otherwise, you give a notice today and pass an order tomorrow. Again, courts are striking off those orders, or quashing the demands of those orders. So yes, please be sure, because as we are professionals and we have to ensure that please you object for whatever silly reason it might be. It might help you later, because I am seeing a very positive note nowadays in the High Courts that for principles of natural justice also the amounts or the demands are being quashed. So please ensure that. And that's why I have written this contents to reply to SCN. At least basic things what we have to be there is facts. Anyway, the DRC 06, that is what the reply to show cause notice. If you see, the form has a table, and that table can be modified, but the minimum contents should be there. So it already asks about the details of the person and the brief facts and issue dispute in brief words and all. So in the grounds, please ensure that you first object the principles of natural justice, if any, because generally the claims are like, because once this reply is given to the officer, and officer is willing to actually drop the demand, or he wanted to do any favor to the client, they are like, no, I'm not going to accept this reply because this is so harsh. Please, this is not harsh. We are not objecting which is not done. If there is a fact that yes, you have given me notice today and passed an order tomorrow, yes, I have every right, or she has every right to object. Please object. That objection might be in a polite way, not like you have given me an order today and tomorrow you passed an order, so I don't want to reply. But it should be like a reasonable time has to be given. So I feel that principles of natural justice are not followed and the notice itself has to be quashed. So that has to be mentioned in the show cause notice reply. And even principles of natural justice, not only time limit, even they have not given me an opportunity of being heard, or they have made me sign a show cause notice issuance or service. They have asked me to come to their office and sign a predated thing. That is actually a wrong thing to do, but you are forced to do, or the client is forced to do. Even those things you can object in the show cause notice reply. And also then the grounds on core issue. Whatever is the core issue, you can give the grounds on that. For example, means whatever it might be ITC, it might be ITC, it might be leviability, it might be this 86A, or it might be 16.4, whatever it is, you can give the grounds on the core issue. You can question the constitutionality, you can question the legality of the provision, you can question because the constitution said, or constitution amendment said, it is seamless flow of credit, and this issue doesn't seem to be seamless flow of credit. You can object even constitutionality at the stage of reply to show cause notice, no problem. Because you have to also, because the same principles, like what order cannot go beyond show cause notice, the same thing, if I wanted to add some new grounds and while I'm going to appeal, they may ask me why I did not object in the show cause notice. They may, and they may say even the same fact is there even at the time of reply to show cause notice. So you did not, why didn't you not object there, and why are you asking here? They may question you and they may not accept that ground also. So that's the reason why I'm saying at the stage of reply to show cause notice itself, please ensure that all the points of principles of natural justice and grounds on core issue, and even whatever are the demands, means not only the tax, even on interest, please mention, raise reply that on interest, since the principal itself is not payable, interest is not payable, Pratibha processes please. And even reply to penalty also, like since the issue itself, means the law is new, there is a confusion, even you can mention up and co case law, whatever it is, and even the extension of terms, timelines, even those all will come into play when the penalty is planned to be levied. So even to reply to penalty also, you issue or you ensure that you reply to that interest separately, to penalty or whatever penalties they have levied, 73 penalty or 74 penalty or 122 or whatever the penalty it is, you reply specifically separately for each of the penalties. And additional grounds, please mention that SSC may alter, change or add, delete any grounds at a further stage or future stage, because that actually also has to be added in the show cause notice reply itself, because I relied on a case law and that case law is reversed at a higher level. Then if I rely still on that, there might be a negative impact on my order. Means that may not be a direct order or direct issue, but for the principles of natural justice, for example, I relied on some alloys, and later in the Supreme Court they said no, not required, DRC 01 means that is allowed and all. So in that cases, I have to ensure that I don't rely on that. Means I can, in the additional grounds or in the when the hearing is going to happen, I can alter those grounds. So please add a sentence that I can alter any of the ground, I can delete or alter any of the ground at a further stage. And also please ensure, or it's actually in the form DRC 06 itself, there is a specific question that whether you want to be heard in person. Yes, again in the reply also you can mention that yes, I wanted to be heard in person, and in some cases they are actually allowing us even to speak, or even mostly central GST officers are allowing even a virtual hearing also. So whatever you want, you can mention there that yes, I wanted to be heard in person, preferably in virtual mode, or even in physical mode also is fine now. So whatever it is, please ensure that these show cause notice reply itself has all this. And that's what I said. One example of this, reasonable time to submit a reply to the show cause notice. Allahabad High Court in the case of Bharadwaj Construction said The respondent number 3 should have granted a reasonable time to the petitioner to submit his reply. Thus, non-compliance of principles of natural justice renders the impugned order to be unsustainable. So that means even the reply to the show cause notice, if they don't give us sufficient time to reply, please mention in your reply to show cause notice, because from the reply to show cause notice, it will go to the appeals, and from appeals, it will go to a high court also. So where high court can understand our problem, that this might be, this small paragraph in your reply might result in quashing the whole order. So please ensure that. And this case of that's what even I talked about, without even striking off any irrelevant portions and without stating the contraventions committed by the petitioner, because section 74 I said fraud, suppression and willful misstatement, they have to ensure. Simply mentioning that there is, I feel this is fraud, that is not sufficient. Why is he feeling the fraud, or why is he feeling that it is suppression, has to be mentioned. The basis of the decision has to be mentioned. So that is in the case of NKS Service Private Limited versus State of Jharkhand. Jharkhand High Court, even these people almost 2-3 times on the same issue, they went to the High Court, and Jharkhand High Court has given the same thing. So please object to these also, because see, they have said only in the impugned show cause notice, clear impression that it is not in the form, it is notice issued in a format without even striking out any relevant portion. So please object even that. Now coming to section 76. Section 76 talks about tax collected but not paid to government. Actually, this is an offense. For sure, this is an offense, because any time, any act, if you collect some amount as tax, it has to be paid, whether the supplies in respect of which such amount was collected are taxable or not. Whether really that supplies are taxable or not, but I collected that amount as tax, I have to pay it to the government. Even if I don't, there is a penalty of 100% of tax so collected, or 10,000, whichever is higher, plus interest, and almost for sure that tax anyway has to be paid. So please ensure any amount which is collected as tax has to be paid to the government. In this section 77, this is being used, widely used since the inception of GST. And we know that if instead of interstate supply or intrastate supply, they have considered it as interstate supply and paid IGST instead of CGST and SGST. They said pay CGST as GST now and claim IGST as refund. And same provision is also there in IGST, asking them to pay CGST as GST now, and or IGST you pay now, and CGST as GST you claim as refund, and there will be no interest. That is a beauty of this section 77. So even this is also actually widely used almost everywhere. So this is already being used, and I need not more discuss on that. Then coming to recovery of tax. So on demands, if there are any specific doubts or any specific queries, because I'm seeing in chat also there are no queries actually asked, either nothing is understood or everything is understood, or am I going fast? I don't know, because it is a virtual thing. I am speaking to myself here, so I don't know whether I am being understood or I am being followed or not. So any issues in demands may be raised, either you can unmute yourself and speak, or you can post it in chat. Or I'll wait for 2 minutes and I'll continue with recovery of tax. Because either you should also you have already replied to 73 and 74, and I don't know, but officers are more lenient to 74 only, and they don't want 73 at all. They want all the notices should to be filed or to be issued as per under section 74 only. Actually, today when I'm speaking in NASIN also, that's what I asked them. why are you giving them, why are you insisting only on 74? And specifically state GST officers are more inclined only to 74. I don't know why. Whatever you talk, they say, yes, it is fraud, it is willful misstatement and so much. But everything need not be. So, okay, I'll continue with recovery of tax. Recovery is like, as I already mentioned in many seminars, where I talk also, that GST law is drafted, or it is all the provisions of whatever is possible, or whenever they are possible. I don't know whether we see in our lifetime or not, but those things are also there, also inculcated in GST Act. In the recovery also, whatever means by which they can recover, everything is mentioned, or everything is in the Act itself, not even in the rules. In the Act itself, they have mentioned all the possibility, all the possible reasons, or all the possible things, how they can recover the tax demanded. And here, any amount payable by a taxable person in pursuance of an order under this Act shall be paid within a period of 3 months from the date of service of such order, failing which recovery proceeding shall be initiated. So this 3 months actually is almost the time to file an appeal also. So, but you know, this proviso saying, provided where the proper officer considers it expedient in the interest of the revenue, he may, for reasons to be recorded in writing, require the said taxable person to make such payment within such period less than a period of 3 months as may be specified by him. Here, I am very sure that actually I am seeing in Guntur jurisdiction itself that this proviso is being used left, right, and center. They are not like, they are not even waiting for a month. As soon as they pass an order, and they were like, sir, mere appeal kaltara, tax pay chestara. Why? They have 3 months time, and they're using this provision, and nothing in writing. Actually, nothing in writing. Everything is in phone. Everything, almost a torture to the accountant or the client or the person whose number is there in the GST department with them. It is almost like they call each and every 3 days or 4 days and ask whether you're going for an appeal or you're going to pay the tax. Because you have 3 months for the appeal, and for the person to draft a reply or draft an appeal to be filed, yes, we need time. We are not like, we cannot, because you have to, that's what I said, because we have to check whether if I'm going to rely on any judgment, whether this is used or this is relied on in any other judgment, or is this challenged in any other higher forum, or is there any other case law which is almost in a similar matter, which is against the SSC or which I should not rely on. So all that I have to check and then reply. So actually that is something difficult to do it in 1 day or 2 days. So, but they are using this provision, and luckily there are nothing, reasons is not recorded in writing. They are only insisting on paying the recovery of tax earlier, but statutory time limit of 3 months is there. And there are some challenges even in the service of notice, because service of notice, how can they serve the notice? Even if I see the service of notice also, all the possible options which are there with the officer or which are there with the department are listed in the Act itself, that how a service of notice can be done. So an upload in the GST portal, it is either given in person, or it is sent through post, or it is published in the local newspaper, or it is attached to your place of business or residence, or even the place where jurisdiction office also, if they post in the notice board, because I could see some notices which are there on the notice board, who is not traced. Even they are giving, even they are adding it there also. So there are some cases, even those. So please ensure that, or please object, or please say that, please convince your officer that you have 3 months fine, even before the recovery of funds. And deduction of money owed. This is one of the way of recovery. So they can say that you have any specified officer, that is proper officer. It is specified officer might be any government officer, central government, state government, or local authority, or board, or corporation, or company owned, controlled wholly or partly by government or local authority, anywhere. If there is any refund, means, simple example, if I have an income tax refund and I have a GST payable, officer can give a notice to my jurisdictional income tax officer and block that refund. That can be done. And that's what they are saying. You have, the officer will issue DRC 09 to that proper officer or specified officer of the government officer or local authority officer or board, and they may say that you withheld that amount. They can recover from that also. Then sale of goods under control of proper officer. Even detaining and selling any goods belonging to such person which are under the control of proper officer also can be made. And but how to sell the goods? Yes, they have specifically given a procedure, generally in an auction, and they have, even before the notice of auction, they have to ensure that what is the market value, and that value means they have a bulk of goods, and whatever is the recovery that should be made, only those goods can be auctioned. Means if they have some 100 cases and 20 cases, if I sell, that the tax is recovered, so they can auction only 20 and not 100. So that is mentioned specifically in GST DRC 10 itself. And there is any auction that is made and successful bidder, notice is given in DRC 11. And once the bidder pays the amount, then certificate will be given in DRC 12. And even the recovery is also completed. So those proceedings also will be closed. And other goods is released and given to the person. So recovery from any other person from whom money is due. So this is almost like they give notices to my debtor and they ask not to pay directly to me, but to the department directly. Even that also can be done. And recovery from a third person, recover from any other person from whom this is what is that, and this is notice they can give in DRC 13. And once my debtor pays to the department directly, they can give a certificate to the third person, means officer will give a certificate to the third person mentioning that it is given in GST DRC 14 that yes, you have made the payment or you have made it to my debt or my debtor is nullified, and that is recovered as tax. And any client for whom you receive DRC 113 also, please ensure that you reply to that notice. Means if you know that it is DRC 13 is issued and yearly that person has to pay, yes, make him pay to the department directly. And if there is already payment done, you write a letter or you write a reply that I have already paid him long back, and when is that, and you can mention or you can give a copy of the ledger or the payment proof to the officer, so that there is this will not be like a consumption of a notice. So please ensure to reply to GST DRC 13, because your client might be faithful and he might be good in paying taxes and complying with the law, but the supply or the recipient might not be. So again, if that is the case, or my supplier might not be, so they can recover from your client. So if GST DRC 13 is there, please ensure you reply to them. Next is sale of movable or immovable property. That's what even JC Madam is mentioning, that they can distrain any movable or immovable property belonging to or under the control of such person and detain the same until the amount payable is paid. And in case any part of the said amount payable or the cost of distress or keeping the property remains unpaid for a period of 30 days, next after any such distress may cause the said property to be sold, and with the proceeds of such sale may satisfy the amount payable and costs including cost of sale remaining unpaid, and shall render the surplus amount if any to such person. So even movable or immovable property, not only goods, even movable or immovable property can be done or can be taken in. And all this recovery and all, actually everything, or simply after third month, first day, no one can come and seize my house and they can make me go. But they have to ensure that earlier provisions like my debtor or from my bank account, all those are there. And then this, if I'm not responding, if I'm not there available to them and all, then they have to give this. So then they have to give a notice for sale, GST DRC 016, then auction, then same DRC 011 and DRC 12. So this procedure of auction is mandatory, even they wanted to sell anything which is pertaining to me. Recovery through collector. If this is not also possible, I don't have any movable property, I don't have any movable property, I'm not traceable, and my debtors are not traceable, nothing is there, then recovery through collector, and the officer will prepare a certificate specifying that this is amount due, and send it to the collector of the district in which such person owns any property or resides or carries on his business, or to any other officer authorized by the collector. So on receipt of that, they will recover it as an arrear of land revenue. As if it is a recovery of property tax, they will recover, and the certificate will be in form GST DRC 18. Recovery through magistrate. Again, this they have said, notwithstanding anything contained in Code of Criminal Procedure, proper officer may file an application to the appropriate magistrate, and such magistrate shall proceed to recover the amount specified thereunder as if it was a fine imposed by him. So all the possible things, not even collector, authorized by collector, even here they are going to use the service of a magistrate, and again here also they have to issue a notice and or certificate or application. They have said mentioned application in GST DRC 19 to recover. Some general rules. Prohibition against bidding or purchase, because here that officer might, they know the market value, and also they know what is the amount demanded and all. So they may prohibit, or they are prohibited against bidding or purchase. The officer or the team which is involved in that recovery of tax cannot bid for my property, or they cannot purchase any property or goods from the client from whom they are recovering the tax. And prohibition against sale on holiday. Yes, on holidays, sale cannot be done, should not be done, because generally, and even if the officer wants police assistance also, it can be taken. It can be allowed, or police can be asked to be present at the time of auction, or at the time of recovery, or at the time of whatever, wherever it is, the police assistance can be taken. And there is also, in the rules, they have said even the interest in partnership can be attached. That means if the person whose amount or whose tax is being recovered, he has some interest in the partnership firm, in a partnership firm, and that interest can be attached. That means I will give notice to the other 2 partners or 3 partners or 1 partner, whoever it is, and I can attach the interest, means whatever is the share of partner or the person, the defaultant, that person, whatever is the share on his partnership towards his capital or towards his profit or towards the remuneration, the other partners are given notice asking them to withhold that amount and pay it as tax instead of paying it to the partner. So even that is also, even to that extent, actually, they have talked about. And so these are the various ways, but I could not see any other way where they could, means because generally department is recovering over phone itself, firstly, or if the person is not available to speak or not responding, then yes, they have, the first thing they are doing is of the bank attachment. And once the bank is attached, even then they could not recover anything from that. then they're going into all these things because all generally for a small cases which does not involve the prosecution and all, and this procedure is generally not generally seen because they pay it even before these coercive steps are taken. But whatever it is, the act is talking about the recovery firstly from that person, from his bank account. And there was a question asked where OD or CC account can be recovered. Means can the officer can give a notice to the bank asking that unused limits in CC, those can be recovered as tax. Again, that is a dispute actually, and one banker actually said yes, even that can be done. Means they can legality of that has to be seen, but generally even that unused limit also can be attached, or the banker has to pay if there is any notice given to him. So all the recovery, so bank account recovery and whatever it is possible for the person to whom someone is owing me, and they can go and ask him to pay. Otherwise, collector, otherwise my immobile property or movable property or my goods can be sold, which are in the control, and even my other tax refunds or any other amounts which are held with the department, other departments, say central, state, or whatever boards or companies hold, government companies and all, they can ask them to pay directly. And even they went to the stage of magistrate also to apply to the magistrate and ask them to recover as if it is imposed, a fee is imposed by the magistrate. And all this recovery procedures, almost all the possible cases or all the possible opportunities or all the possible ways, they are already mentioned in the act itself. This is the section 80. That is what is Sumati madam talked about, that payment of tax and other amount in installments. Yes, actually there is a provision if there is a genuine case of financial difficulty, and because of COVID and because of genuine hardships, there are cases where earlier demands or earlier the demand is sustained and the demand is raised and demand is finalized, but due to corona or due to COVID-19 restrictions or due to some other family reasons or personal reasons or whatever it is, or due to economical reasons or political reasons, because you know how the position in Andhra Pradesh due to political reason, because I understand that even Guntur is one of the affected area of that decision of capital. So whatever it might be, the commissioner or the person can apply to the commissioner, the person who is grieved by whose demand is sustained, and they have an option, they can apply in GST DRC 20 to the commissioner, asking him, please allow me to pay my demand. That is a demand actually, to pay the demand, but that demand can be paid. Maximum period that can be asked is 24 months. That's what I'm talking about as 24 EMIs. So 24 months. So each month they will ensure that almost the total amount by 24. That's what generally they do. So by 24 they ensure that there is paid. But if I miss one installment, they can ask the whole outstanding balance on that day. The day when I missed an installment, gone. My whole outstanding balance is demanded that day, and that will become due. So once I apply for this section 80 and I got time, I have to ensure that I pay that amount at least in the time or time limit or the date when it is agreed upon. So if I miss one installment also, that is gone. And this option is not available for self-assessed tax. That means I declare in the return that it is tax payable, and I cannot say that I want an option to pay in installments for the tax which I already declared in GSTR 3B or 1, because 1 versus 3B is also self-assessed tax. So they cannot say that it is a installment is not possible if it is in the case of self-assessed tax. And even in the rule they have said even this option of payment of tax in installments is not allowed when taxable person has already defaulted on the payment of any amount for which recovery process is on. So if I default any amount there, means already one time this opportunity I used, and if I defaulted then no other opportunity for me. And second case is taxable person has not been allowed to make payment in installments of the preceding financial year. Means earlier I applied, but I was not allowed. Even then, once I am not allowed, I'm not allowed for lifetime, my next periods also. And if the amount payable is 25,000 or less, then this facility is not available for me. So actually, that means even for 25,001 from that amount, I can go for this installment basis. So that is actually a good opportunity for the people who is actually in the, because there is one company for which I have applied this, because that company is affected by means their plant which is there in Jharkhand or some other state of means other state. That plant actually is means the plant is located, means the main plant is there and the second plant is here in Vijayanagaram. So that plant is, they have brought, means that plant is almost under due to this COVID issues and all, it is almost closed. And now that is a different entity, distinct entity, and this is a distinct entity. And that once that plant is closed, there is a huge amount of ITC there. And here there is a demand of GST. Actually, that is a demand of GST, which is there for the plant which is closed. So they are actually different companies and they wanted to amalgamate that. And now we tried for this section 80 also, because we said they are into financial difficulties. First, we tried to that the same entity that is being closed. So can we transfer or can we use that input tax credit to set off the liability of this active plant? If they don't agree for that, that is the first option. Second option is please allow us to give in section 80 payment of installments, because they are in a very, very bad stage of financial position. So we have applied for it, and first option they did not agree that the input available in that entity to be transferred to this entity. Actually, that now after Finance Act 2021, actually even 2022, actually even this can be allowed, saying that what means that now they're talking about cash ledger amount, cash ledger which is in excess available in the other distinct entity, means out of other state can be transferred to this state. So actually first option they did not agree, but this second option of transferring, means giving the time of installments, they agreed and they have given 24 months actually to pay. So this option can be worked upon if there are any genuine financial difficulty cases where demand is sustained, means they have to pay, but they have a financial difficulty to not pay. Section 81, transfer of property to be void in certain cases. So this is like the demand is confirmed. I know that I did not file an appeal, and even if I file an appeal, I know that I will fail. So at that time, I start selling my property. Even before they auction my property, I sell my property or I give it on a charge to someone. That is void. Once, that's what I said, that's what it reads, where a person after any amount has become due from him, creates a charge on or parts with the property belonging to him or in his possession by way of sale, mortgage, exchange, or any other mode of transfer whatsoever of any of his properties in favor of any other person with the intention of defrauding the government revenue. Such charge or transfer shall be void as against any claim in respect of any tax or any other sum payable by the said person. So once I understand that my property will be auctioned, and then I transfer some to someone, or I somehow sale, mortgage, exchange, transfer, whatever it is I do, that is void. Provided such charge or void shall not be void if it is made for adequate consideration in good faith and without notice of the pendency of such proceedings or without notice of such tax by the said person or with the previous permission of proper officer. So if it is, in some cases it is not void. I may say, sir, I will pay this, I will sell this property and I will pay. You need not auction. I will sell this property and pay. So please give me permission. If that is given, yes, you can sell. Second, I don't know, means I don't know that this proceedings are pending, means the recovery is not, or I'm not aware of the recovery, or the notice is issued just. If then that is the transfer is done before that. Yes, even that is there. And that's what it said, in good faith and for adequate consideration and without notice. That's simply if the SSC is a business person and he knows that they are going to auction the property, he gifts it to his wife, or if he gifts it to his friend, those things are void. And always, notwithstanding anything to the contrary contained in any law for the time being in force, save otherwise provided in Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, any amount payable by a taxable person or any other person on account of tax, interest, or penalty which is liable to pay to the government shall be a first charge on the property of such taxable person or such person. So see, here taxable person is a person which is defined that a person who is liable to be registered. That's why they have not left anything. But that's what I said. The GST Act is so extreme that any other person on account of tax, interest, and penalty which is liable to pay. That means the person who is not a taxable person, means for example, my debtor who is actually has to pay me, he got DRC 13, but he paid me, or he did not pay to the government. Even that person, the tax, or at least to that extent of his debt, it is first charge on the property of such taxable person or such person. Even that person also can be, means tax can be demanded even from such person. 83 talks about provisional attachment to protect revenue in certain cases. So in certain cases, even they can provisionally attach the the assets, because including bank account, this is where the all this kachra is coming actually, that wherever possible the bank account is being attached or freezed. A notice is being issued simply to department or the person, and the bank is being the account is being freezed. So every such provisional attachment means commissioner is of the opinion that for the purpose of protecting the interest of the government revenue, it is necessary so to do. He may, by order in writing, attach provisionally any property including bank account. So that can be done, and every such provisional attachment shall cease to have effect after 1 year from the date of order. So within 1 year, they have to do something, means they have to either recover through other processes, or this once the tax is recovered, the bank account attachment is also gone. So for that order of attachment, DRC 22 is issued, and the person is given an option to file an objection in DRC 22A. And once I say that you don't do anything, I will pay tax and all. Once that I pay tax, the property is released by giving a certificate almost in form GST DRC 23. So in any of the cases, all the issues or all the ways of recovery, because in the starting 73 and 74 talks about the tax not paid, short paid, ITC, wrongly refund or wrongly availed or utilized, and refund or wrongly paid, and all those things which can go wrong and which are there, which can go wrong and which are to the mind of thinking mind of any person in GST, which can be go wrong, is already included in demand and recovery, saying section 73 and 74. And after that, recovery of tax, yes, they have already they included, means everything whatever possible in ways to recovery of tax, they have already added in the recovery portion also. And actually, I think you have this other topics of offenses, appeals and division and all. So yes, I'm seeing that inspection, search, seizure and all are already there in the next future sessions. So where whatever it is, the demand and recovery 73 and 74 is the main weapon which is there with the department to demand the tax. And from 75 to 83, whatever are the possible ways to recover the tax, we can recover. But we have an option for appeals and revision. So please ensure that it is within time. See how the officers are, how the procedure is being insisted, not only by the officers, but also by the high courts, because even the same thing will happen. There is one more case which I have read recently, that dual jurisdiction, the person got a notice from State Department and also Central Department. Both notices, he replied, and he objected on the, after replying to the notices, after orders are passed, then he objected to the State Department. The High Court said, when you are replying to the department, why didn't you mention that center is already probing the issue and I'm already replying to the center, and you need not do it again. You did not do that. That means you accepted both the assessments or both the jurisdictions and both the cases open. So you cannot challenge now on that ground, on that specific ground, that both have done on the same ground. That is how high courts are looking at the procedures. So the same way, the procedures even we have to follow, because that's what even madam said, that you have to give the, unless you give a certified copy of the order, your appeal is not being accepted. So please ensure that you give a certified copy of that order, and you give that, you ensure that the procedure specified in the law is followed first, and then you can object or you can oppose or you can question the officer's procedure or the procedure which is there in the assessment. Because audit manual and all those are very, very important to object in the case of principles of natural justice, because once the audit is done and they give a notice after audit is done, we can object, or if the procedures are not followed correctly, we can object there. And we have to give the documents, or we have to give all the required information first, and then we can object. So that is what is there for me in speaking about demands and recovery. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much for listening to me. And any queries on demands and recovery or any other issues which can be talked about? Yes, there is one query in the chat. The client is in the business of mobiles and accessories. He also sells accessories along with mobile, which are brought from electric dealers. Received SCN and DRC1 denying inputs on electric goods, saying they are restricted credit under 17.5. Why? What is the restriction in 17.5 they are talking about on electric goods? Because it is, they are, means he sells accessories along with the mobiles, and he buys accessories from some electric dealers, and I could not find any restriction under 17.5 for electric goods. Any further clarity or further question on that, Ajay ji? Because I could not find any reason of or restricted input on electric goods in 17.5. Because again, you are saying it is, he is dealing with mobile and accessories, and I could not find anything. So specific query on that? Okay, HSN is fine, but what are the products there? I don't know, because I'm not aware, or I'm not expert in that HSN things. So what are the items for that? Oh, we also don't know. Okay, so if I just 1 second, HSN code of 8544. Insulated wire and cables, insulated electric conductors, optical fiber cables. Okay, that might be some 8539 is ultraviolet and infrared lamp units or parts thereof. 8535 electric apparatus for switching or protecting electric circuits, switches, plugs, junction boxes. No, nowhere all these HSNs which you mentioned, I don't find any boards, panels, controls. So I don't find any objection in 17.5. If I am into selling, means if I'm into buying the switch box or switch gear or that insulation boxes and I'm selling that, there is no restriction under 17.5. No issue. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing no issue in that. Okay. Are you mentioning that it is like 17.5H? That means they are given free. No. All the products are sold along with accessories. Okay, fine. And you're paying tax on that. Even that is fine. If you're purchasing something and selling something and you're paying tax on that, what is the restriction or what is the restricted credit in there? And that too for the HSNs which you have mentioned, there is no specific restriction at all in any of the clauses of 17.5. The only thing I see, because you are saying that they are sold along with accessories, only thing I see is either composite supply issue or an issue of 17.5H where the goods are sold or the goods are given as free samples or gifts. But I don't feel that, means as you are saying that that is not 17.5H, I find no issue in giving or any restriction in 17.5.
సార్ నమస్తే.
చెప్పండి
సార్, దిస్ ఇస్ భరద్వాజ్ సార్.
యా.
సార్, ADT 02 ఆగస్ట్ లో ఆడిట్ చేశారు, రిపోర్ట్ ఇచ్చారు అండర్ సెక్షన్ 65 సబ్ సెక్షన్ 6.
ఓకే.
ఆగస్ట్ లో వాళ్ళు మనకి రిపోర్ట్ ఇచ్చారు. వేరాజ్ జనవరిలో మేము వెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ రిప్లై ఇచ్చాం. మా బాబు ఇది అంటే వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చిన మెయిన్ పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే, ఈ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు 5% కి కట్టి మీరు రిఫండ్ తీసుకున్నారు, బట్ వేరాజ్ 28% కట్టి మీరు రిఫండ్ తీసుకోవాలి. ఆ డిఫరెన్స్ ఉన్న 23% ఇప్పుడు కట్టండి. సో యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇప్పుడు కడితే ఇంక ఇన్పుట్ రాదనే, రిఫండ్ రాదు కదా వాళ్ళ ఉద్దేశంలో అని ఉద్దేశంతో వాళ్ళు నోటీస్ ఇచ్చారు. మేము ఎలా అయినా రెవెన్యూ న్యూట్రల్ ఎఫెక్ట్ కదండి అని చెప్పి రిప్లై అయితే ఇచ్చాం, జనవరిలో ఇచ్చాం. బట్ టిల్ డేట్ నో రిప్లై. దాన్ని ఏమనుకోవాలి అంటే, ఇప్పుడు మన టైం పీరియడ్ ఉందనుకోవాలా, వాడికి టైం బార్ అనుకోవాలా? ఇది 17-18 సార్, ఇది మెయిన్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ 17-18.
అండర్స్టూడ్. ఎందుకంటే అదే కదా రిఫండ్ ఆప్షన్ అయిపోయింది అంటే ఆల్మోస్ట్ 18-19 నోటీస్ ఆల్సో గాన్.
ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ లో ఫస్ట్ లో క్లారిటీ లేదు, 5% కట్టి రిఫండ్ తీసుకోవాలి, 28% రిఫండ్ తీసుకోవాలని క్లారిటీ లేనప్పుడు SSC చేసిన పని ఏంటంటే 5% కట్టి రిఫండ్ తీసుకున్నాడు. నువ్వు 28 కట్టి రిఫండ్ తీసుకోవాలి, 5 కట్టి రిఫండ్ తీసుకోవాలి, సో డిఫరెన్స్ ఆఫ్ 23 ఇప్పుడు కట్టేసేయి అని అంటాడు. సో ఇప్పుడు కడితే రిఫండ్ వస్తుందా రాదు అనేది అసలు అది పెద్ద క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్. మోస్ట్లీ రాదనుకున్నాం, ఎందుకంటే టైం అయిపోయింది అంటాడేమో, ఒకవేళ ఆ పీరియడ్ అంటాడు. లేదా అది వస్తుంది అంటే ఓకే, అప్పుడు క్లయింట్ కి చెప్పొచ్చు, వీ కెన్ సే క్లయింట్ టు పే, బట్ వెదర్ ఇట్ విల్ బి రిఫండెడ్ ఆర్ నాట్, దట్ అది మీరు చెప్పాలి. అసలు ఇప్పుడు దాకా వాళ్ళ నుంచి రిప్లై ఏం లేదు, 6 months అయిపోయింది. మరి అప్పుడు ఏమనుకోవాలి? వాళ్ళ టైం బారైంది అనుకోవాలా?
యాక్చువల్లీ స్పీకింగ్, ఆడిట్ హ్యాస్ టు బి కంప్లీటెడ్ విత్ ఇన్ 60 days ఆఫ్ మనం సబ్మిట్ చేసిన టైం.
ఆడిట్ అయిపోయింది సార్, 8202 ఇచ్చాడు, అంతా అయిపోయింది, ఆడిట్ అయితే అయిపోయింది. ఆడిట్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత మనం రిప్లై ఇచ్చాం అసిస్టెంట్ కమిషనర్ కి.
అవును, అంటే there is no notice after that or any
no notice after that, no attachment, nothing. వాడు అటాచ్మెంట్ అయినా ఇవ్వాలిగా కనీసం, అది ఇవ్వలేదు.
బికాస్ అంటే వాట్ ఐఎమ్ సీయింగ్, అంటే అక్కడ మనం చూడాల్సింది రీఫండ్ లో what exactly is the time limit. 2 years time limit is there. So what is the 2 years time limit for this specific thing?
Okay.
Because నాకు తెలిసి అంటే అదే చూస్తున్నా సెక్షన్
వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చింది అయితే మాత్రం 65(6) కింద సార్ నోటీస్. అదే వాళ్ళు ఆడిట్ చేసిన 65(6) అని ఇచ్చారు. ఎడిట్ 02.
నేను చూస్తుంది 2 years from what date?
ఐదర్ పెయిడా లేదంటే ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ చేసిందని చూసుకోవాలి ఇప్పుడు.
Because that 2 years, if the goods are exported out of India, 2 years from sea or air or land. Sea or air aithe 2 years from the date on which ship or aircraft in which goods are loaded leaves India.
So export చేసిన డేటే.
Yeah, if it is export, relevant date is date of export.
Date of export. So no, if we pay today, nothing will come back as per Act.
Yes.
Clear. Then revenue neutral effect కదా, మీరు దాన్ని ఎందుకు రైజ్ చేస్తున్నారని మేము రిప్లై అయితే ఇచ్చి కేసు రాసి అని పెట్టించాం. బట్ ఇప్పుడు దాకా రిప్లై లేదు. జనవరి నుంచి టిల్ డేట్ రిప్లై లేదు. ఏం వాళ్ళు పర్స్యూడ్.
One problem is revenue neutrality is not is very difficult to. నేను రాస్తున్నా కానీ revenue neutrality issues, but what I am understanding is revenue neutrality ever. అంటే revenue neutrality మీద మనం అది తప్పించుకోలేం. Because that is questioning our ultimate leviability.
Right, sir.
Levy question చేస్తున్నాడు.
Right, sir.
So that's where because if I am genuinely have to pay 28, so I paid 20, means if I would have paid 25, I would have claimed 28. That's different.
Exactly.
But I have to pay 28 and I paid 5. That is a wrong thing.
Right, wrong thing accepted.
ఇప్పుడు మీరు అన్నట్టు they have time, means if they have done audit and you have replied it and they did not take it, but at least under section 73 they have time till that 3 years, means 20 September 20 November 20. సో ఆ లోపు ఎప్పుడైనా వాళ్ళు నోటీస్ ఇవ్వచ్చు.
సో మనం పర్సనల్ గా వెళ్ళి పర్సూ చేసుకోవడం బెటర్. వాళ్ళే ఇవ్వలేదు అని వెళ్ళడం మంచిది కాదు.
అంటే అదర్ బికాస్ దే మే సే అప్పుడు అంటే ఆడిట్ అయిపోయి ఆడిట్ అబ్జెక్షన్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత మనం రిప్లై ఇచ్చాం కాబట్టి దే కెనాట్ నౌ ఆస్క్ అబౌట్ ఫ్రాడ్ ఆర్ మిస్‌రిప్రజెంటేషన్ ఆర్ సబ్మిషన్, బికాస్ దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్రెడీ నోన్ టు ద డిపార్ట్మెంట్ డ్యూరింగ్ ఆడిట్.
రైట్ సార్.
సో అది రాదు. సో బట్ టిల్ నవంబర్ దే విల్ హ్యావ్ టైం.
Till November they have time, that is clear. So they can issue attachment or whatever it may be by November also.
Attachment ఇవ్వలేరు కానీ ముందు నోటీస్ ఇవ్వాలి.
అదే నోటీస్ అయినా whatever it may be sir, నోటీస్ గాని
నోటీస్ అయితే
వాళ్ళు
they
have ignored our time barred అనే ఆ ఛాన్స్ ఇక్కడ లేదు.
అవును.
అది చాలు అయితే మనం పర్సూ చేయాలి. రైట్ సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Yeah, any other queries or we can close.
Anyone having any queries అండి? Seems like everyone satisfied with your class, sir. Very happy.
That's what I said. Either they should understand or otherwise they.
అంటే మాకు ఇంకా టైం కావాలి మీరు. అంటే ఎలా ఉందంటే జెట్ ప్యాక్ లా ఉంది, మొత్తం సబ్జెక్ట్ ఉంది, బట్ 1.5 hour లో మీరు మాక్సిమం కూడా ట్రై చేయడం వల్ల ఏంటంటే ఆ స్పీడ్ మేము క్యాచ్అప్ చేయాలి. కానీ 100% మీరు పీపీటీ చెప్పడం వల్ల బాగా కవర్ అయింది, నీట్ గా అర్థమైంది. బట్ సబ్జెక్ట్ చాలా ఉంది సార్. Subject is lot of subject.
And that means another thing is once you get a notice, actually మనకు ఒక నోటీస్ వచ్చి దాన్ని ఫేస్ చేస్తే ఇంకా బాగా అర్థమవుతుంది యాక్చువల్లీ. అండర్స్టాండ్ ప్రాక్టికలీ ఏదైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ అంటే వన్స్ యూ గెట్ ఏ క్వశ్చన్ జనరలీ విల్ ఈ ప్రొసీజర్ లో, బికాస్ many are used to write show cause replies and appear before officers in income tax and all. So there might not be any questions in the procedure aspects, but mere not to put a legal aspects or time period aspects, there might be questions.
Each and every note is a special case.
Yes.
Particular గా peculiar గా అన్ని peculiar గానే ఉంటాయి, దేనికి సపరేట్ గా ఉంటాయి. సో ఇన్ కేస్ సార్, ఇన్ కేస్ ఎవరికి డౌట్స్ లేవంటే విల్ క్లోజ్ ది సెషన్ అండి. సార్, ఐ థింక్ నో వన్ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ డౌట్స్. వెరీ మచ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ యువర్ బ్యూటిఫుల్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్. కుదిరితే మాకు కాస్త విల్ షేర్ ది పీపీటీస్. ఇఫ్ యూ షేర్ ది పీపీటీస్ విల్ షేర్ టు అవర్ గ్రూప్. అండ్ ఇన్ కేస్ పాసిబుల్ మీ మెయిల్ ఐడి ఒకసారి చెప్తే ఎవరైనా మెయిల్స్ ఉంటే డెఫినెట్ గా మీకు క్వరీ పంపిస్తారు, దాన్ని బట్టి మనం రిప్లై ఇవ్వచ్చు.
Sure.
Yeah, please share with the branch, sir. We'll share with everyone. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the
opportunity, and thank you for patiently listening to my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you from Guntur branch of SIRC of ICA and chapter and members. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.